All right, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel, boys. It is official. We are going to be getting the best press conference in UFC history because Dana White just made official that Israel Adesanya will be facing off against Sean Strickland at UFC 293 in Sydney, Australia for the middleweight title. Okay, this is absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to talk about this. I want to talk about the press conference. I want to talk about the matchup itself. Before we get into it, like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, okay? Dude, first off, Sean Strickland's a G. Okay, he played this very well. He negotiated very well, saying the UFC didn't want it. I was concerned. I thought the UFC didn't want to pay him, didn't realize his star potential, didn't realize that he was taking this on extremely short notice. I can already see in the comment sections of these posts Israel Adesanya fans claiming, what a champ, anytime, anywhere, short notice, all this jazz. If you will remember, Israel Adesanya handpicked this date as soon as his rematch with Alex Pereira was over. He has had a ton of notice, knowing he was going to fight on this date, in this place, all that jazz. Sean Strickland just started negotiating, maybe a week ago, okay? He put everybody on notice. Abus Magomedov was absolutely supposed to beat him. They were trying to inject a new contender into the high rankings of the middleweight division, and Sean Strickland just went, nah, you're not, dude, because I'm going to fuck this dude up. This is going to be a tale as old as time, okay? Capitalist American, which I'm not American, but fuck it, versus communist Chinese, okay? This is a great storyline. Sean Strickland should walk out to Fortunate Son by CCR. What a fucking moment that would be, okay? The press conference is gonna be unbelievable as long as Israel Adesanya does not tip off the hate speech police in Australia, because that is, they don't have a specific police for it, but they do indeed have hate speech laws, okay, just like we do here in Canada, which is very unfortunate. And Sean Strickland does say some things that perhaps if he was in Canada would be borderline on him having to stand in front of a human rights tribunal, which, hey, don't blame me, dude. I didn't vote the guy in, but bro, Sean Strickland's gonna go to fucking town. I'm not even the fight is what it is, you know what I mean? The press conference is gonna be fantastic. He's gonna be calling Israel Adesanya Chinese in front of his hometown-ish fans, you know what I mean? Australia's close to New Zealand, obviously. I know that they're not the same thing, don't worry, but it's just gonna be fucking great. And we will find out if Dana White or the UFC, Hunter Campbell, whoever, went up to Sean Strickland and told him to tone it down. Because if he is not going off on that shit immediately, talking about him jerking off his dog, talking about his fucking nail polish, talking about the fact that he's Chinese, Nigerian, Kiwi, all this shit, but Dricus du Plessis can't claim Africa, bro, I can't fucking wait. I've never been so excited for a press conference in my entire life. Okay, I've never been more excited for a press conference than I have been for the actual fight itself. But let's talk about that, because while the odds should heavily favor Israel Adesanya, clearly, obviously, Sean Strickland is taking this on short notice, despite what Izzy fans want to talk about. Yes, Israel Adesanya's opponent is short notice, technically, because he was supposed to be fighting either Robert Whittaker or Dricus du Plessis, who also would have had to make a quick turnaround in order to make this date. Israel Adesanya does not really change the way that he fights. Depending on who he's fighting, he doesn't really switch shit up. He doesn't create like a new game plan. He fights how he fights. He downloads data during the fight. He sees opening during the fight, and he, utilizes those, exposes those during the fight. He's not the kind of guy to come out completely different against one opponent from the next. The Alex Pereira one may have been you know what I mean, dude. What's the fucking word, dude? Whatever. An exception. That was the word I was looking for. The way that he curled up against the cage and, kind of faked that he was hurt and was able to land that big shot, knowing that Alex Pereira would rush forward and attempt to finish him. But he doesn't really change the way that he fights. Now, Sean Strickland doesn't really either, because he goes out there and fights Alex Pereira the exact same way he's fought fucking everybody, takes a left hook for it, and dies, essentially. One thing I want to point out is Sean Strickland's chin, despite that Alex Pereira KO, is actually phenomenal, because you see the kind of guys that he's taking shots from. He's taking shots from Cannonier, right, who, in my opinion, he won that fight, or should have won that fight. Even the Pereira KO, the left hook dropped him, but he was getting back up, and Pereira had to follow up with the right hand as Sean Strickland was trying to get back to his feet. Like, this dude's got a fucking chin. and a heart. He's tough as nails. Abus Magomedov hit him with a ton of body kicks, ended up gassing, and then Sean Strickland put the fucking beat down on him. But it is what it is. Dude, Sean Strickland's tough as nails. Now, here's the problem. Those body kicks that Abus Magomedov was landing on Sean Strickland pretty consistently throughout that first round, that is something I could see Israel Adesanya landing on Sean Strickland. But the difference is that Israel Adesanya is not going to gas after that first round the way that Abus Magomedov did. I think that Abus Magomedov thought he was going to be able to get Sean Strickland out of there early, came with all his power, all his might, was unable to do so, obviously. Something else that Israel Adesanya is very good at is once he goes to the body and the legs a few times, he will go up high. Sean Strickland's going to have to be aware of that. One thing that Sean Strickland has that will favor him is the fact that he's been training with Alex Pereira, a guy who is more knowledgeable and more, has been in the cage with Israel Adesanya, cage or ring, more than anybody on the face of the planet, right? Their first MMA fight basically went the full 25 minutes, very close to. Second fight was about 7-ish minutes or something along those lines, maybe a little longer. But then they had 3 kickboxing matches, right? And if I'm not mistaken, the KO came in the third round of the kickboxing match, so almost the full fight, and then a decision, so a full fight. And dude, I mean, are you kidding me? This is fantastic. I can't fucking wait. Sean Strickland, you're a gangster, like purebred. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's going to be really interesting to see what kind of comebacks Israel Adesanya has. For Sean Strickland, it's exposing to the world that Israel Adesanya likes to play with his dogs, likes to put food in his mouth and chew it up and spit it out to his dogs like a fucking mama bird, dude. What a weirdo. Bro, I can't fucking wait. I mean, honestly, as I was saying, Israel Adesanya most likely will win this fight. However, I'm not counting out Sean Strickland simply because he's Sean Strickland. Do you know what I mean? He's tough as fuck. His style is awkward to deal with. His defense is extremely underrated. Very boxing heavy, but very underrated. Do you know what I mean? We saw that he doesn't really have an answer for the body kicks against Abus Magomedov because he's so focused on deflecting shots. He's always sticking his arm out, like shoulder rolling, tucking his chin in while his arm's coming out, deflecting everything. And he's gotten a lot better at not swatting, parrying with that lead hand. He kind of just does quick little ones with the right hand, which is nice to see because that was how he got KO'd by Alex Pereira. He was swatting down with his rear, and then Pereira noticed it, came over the top of the left hook. The good thing is that aside from like a couple of fights, Israel Adesanya does clearly not have one-punch KO power. Do you know what I mean? He got Pereira, who, in my opinion, is diminished at 185. He's kind of like a glass cannon-ish. Not totally, not a total chinster, right? But glass cannon-ish because he's cutting so much fucking weight. Paulo Costa ate a head kick and then a shot to the temple and then took some follow-up shots on the ground after that. Robert Whittaker, coming off of a crazy wars with Yoel Romero, goes in there aggressive as fucking all get out, gets dropped in the first and then again in the second and finished. Aside from those dudes, though, we haven't really seen Israel Adesanya just put somebody away that way. I could see him landing a head kick. Sean Strickland, though, he's going to have to use his wrestling, right? If that situation were to arise, if he takes a flush head kick and then gets hurt, he's going to have to utilize his wrestling, which I don't know that he will do. He kind of reminds me of Justin Gaethje in that sense. It's like Justin Gaethje's body is literally allergic to wrestling. Do you know what I mean? Sean Strickland seems to be much of the same because there are certain guys that you watch him fight and you're like, why don't you know what I mean? He has started to throw with a little bit more power too from time to time, not so much just touch. It's interesting, man. A lot of people, I would imagine the vast majority of people are going to count out Sean Strickland and just assume that this is an easy title defense for Israel Adesanya. I don't know that that'll be the case. Like, there is a pretty good chance that Izzy, even if he doesn't totally fuck him up and finish him, and we just get another boring leg kick battle. Sean Strickland doesn't throw a lot of leg kicks. He doesn't really have an answer for them. It's just not something that they seem to work on. His training partner, Chris Curtis, seems to have the same issue, right? They're real boxing heavy guys. Maybe Pereira can teach him that sneaky little calf kick. You know what I mean? Sean Strickland stands similar to Pereira, very straight up, a little squared, like, who knows? He might be able to come up with a few tricks and whip him out for this fight. But fuck it. The press conference will be phenomenal. I cannot wait. I am so curious to see Israel Adesanya's face and to see what he says to the shit that Sean Strickland's going to say. And honestly, dude, this kind of sets the stage for the Dricus du Plessis fight if Israel Adesanya is to get past Sean Strickland, because Dricus du Plessis seems very gentlemanlike, right? I couldn't see him throwing out jabs about Israel Adesanya playing with his dog's dick, okay? So it's like Sean Strickland's going in there doing the dirty work for him. Sean's going to go get all the blood on his hands. He's going to go say all the nasty shit. Dricus du Plessis doesn't really have to. He'll just come in after that. Everybody's been made aware thanks to Sean Strickland. Do you know what I mean, dude? He's like the grunt in this situation. The front line, whatever the fuck they call that. I can't remember, dude. Whatever. He's part of the infantry. Dricus du Plessis is a general in this analogy. I'm not saying that one's superior to the other, but I just couldn't see, Dricus du Plessis is very classy, dresses very nicely, doesn't really like to swear, didn't want to engage with Israel Adesanya in his in-cage antics, you know what I mean? So Sean Strickland's going to go in, do all the hard dirty work, get all the fucking blood and mud on his hands, and most likely lose, and then we'll get Dricus du Plessis coming in after Israel Adesanya's been exposed for enjoying bestiality, also, being a little feminine, and claiming Chinese, African, and Kiwi, all that good shit, and we're going to get to hear it all. And Israel Adesanya, while he is okay on the mic when he has like a moment alone, at press conference he doesn't do that well. Do you know what I mean? Like, Sean Strickland irritated the ever-living fuck out of him when Sean Strickland was fighting Alex Pereira. And it was hilarious. I loved it. It's going to be that times a million, though, because Sean Strickland wasn't even fucking fighting Israel Adesanya. And now he is. So, let me know what you guys think about this fight down in the comments below. Do you think Sean Strickland has a chance? How amazing do you think the fucking press conference is going to be? Do you think Dana White, Hunter Campbell, whoever at the UFC is going to try to silence Sean Strickland to a degree? Hey, maybe don't talk about this shit, you know what I mean? Or do you think it's just going to be an all-out fucking war of words in which Israel Adesanya will most likely lose? Anyways, like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I will see you at the next video. Bye-bye.